Hello Tab Nation, it's your boy Tom, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. It's a new little mini series I kind of want to look into. I've loved playing with circuitries. Most of my channel has always been software, automation, that kind of thing, but I also want to look into the hardware kind of side of stuff. I've done all this stuff since I was in high school. I just got back into it recently. Let me know if this is something you guys find interesting, even if you're never going to do it. I'll definitely look at expanding. So this is a breadboard, and a breadboard is a way to kind of test out a circuit before you solder it, play around with it. They're really cool. You can plug a bunch of stuff in here, wires and whatnot, which we'll do a quick sample here after this intro. A breadboard was originally called a breadboard because back in the day, before we had these nice little things here, they would actually take like your mom's breadboard that she used in the kitchen, hammer a bunch of nails into it, and use those as kind of like connection points. Thankfully, we have these days. They're definitely probably also not only easier, but safer, I would assume. So yeah, and you can do lots of stuff. You can do something as simple as hooking up a buzzer to go off, LEDs to blink or light up. One of the things I just finished putting together, which would be more of a later video, is I got this. This hooks up to my computer. I can then send an actual script to run on this little thing. And then this is an LCD screen, so I can display like Hello World or Tab Nation, Auto Hotkey, subscribe, which if you haven't, you should. And this just kind of controls the brightness of the screen here. So you can do a lot of cool stuff with these. They come in different sizes. They're super cheap on Amazon. So there's a small one. I got a big one here. We'll use the big one because I just think that would be easier. I could spread stuff out a little bit more so it's easier to see on camera versus kind of, using a small section. Now, the way this works is, let me see if I can use a wire here to kind of as a pointer. You got your positive here, your negative here, and when you supply power here, it'll run it all the way along here, both positive and negative. There's two ways or a few ways to do it. You can use the batteries. Also 9-volt will work, or you can use this thing, which is really nice, kind of a smaller version of what I just showed you. But on the bottom, here's where we're going to plug these pins into the positive and negative to get our power supply. Now, when you buy these, there's this little pin right here. It a lot of times will be in the middle, which is off. You need to just pull it out and move it over to, if you can see it, I'm not sure how to focus, but you can kind of see how it says off, and then 5 volts and 3.3. We're going to use 5. So you're just moving the pin over on both sides. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, plug that in. And then when I plug this into a power supply, whether it's my computer or an outlet, both sides now are getting power, where this would only give one side power. But you can always bridge it by connecting like that, and now both sides would be getting power if you only have one input on one side. Now, for the most part, with wires, red's going to be hot. It's going to be the plus side, positive, and black's going to be the negative side, the minus side. So we're going to do a quick sample here. So I got a little LED, and we're just going to light this up. So the way to tell, there's two ways to tell an LED what's the positive and negative side. The positive side is going to be the side that's a little bit longer. So it can be kind of hard to see sometimes, but this side is longer. And then unfortunately this doesn't show up great in the camera, but inside the actual bulb here, there's two pieces that are kind of like triangle. The bigger side's going to be the negative, where the smaller side's going to be the positive. But it's just easier to go off the wires. Hopefully they are correctly, lengthed. So I could directly plug this in to the power, but I'm going to use some wires just to kind of help you see a little bit better. So I'm going to plug it in there, positive. And then I'm going to, let's spread this out a little bit. Go over here, Let's put this at the bottom. Now, this whole row right here, not past this, just this side, is now receiving power. Well, once I plug it in, obviously. There. So now we're going to give the power, the plus side, positive. We're going to plug it into that row. And then we'll just pick another row for this to plug into with the negative side. And they snap in pretty easy and they stay in pretty tight. So now we got power flowing here. It's going up there. Oop, I put that in the wrong row. Let's just move that over so it's in the same. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes, especially when I have all this recording stuff in my way. And then what we want to do is use a little resistor here, and that's just with the help with the flow of power. If you guys want me to do tutorials going a little bit more in depth onto like the individual pieces, definitely let me know. I think this is a 400R is what it's rated. It's kind of hard to tell, but there are stripes on the top here, and you'll have like a little grid that kind of shows you. It's kind of a pain sometimes to figure out. So for this, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to plug it in here in the middle of that row where the negative was. And then we'll just go over a few more rows. So there we go. I can bend these down a little bit just so you can see better. And then now we just need to complete the circuit by plugging it into the power back on the negative side, which is that black wire. So let me find that cord. Let's give it some power here. That is the wrong cord. Hold on one second. There we go. Probably should have had this set up before I record it. Wasn't thinking about it. Yeah, right. And this one I'm directly just plugging into an outlet next to my computer with a power supply. So we're going to turn that on or plug it in. This is our power button right here. Push that. Wow, look, there. We lit up an LED. Turn it off. Turn it back on. And this is pretty much kind of like your hello world, I guess, in circuitry. Just a simple LED light. You know, we can do a little more fancy stuff, have a chain of LEDs. We can make them blink at certain intervals, what have you. And like I said, there's so many kind of things you can do with this. You can get